Hey, it's George from Roverland. Today I'll be showing you the installation of the Roverland lighting system for the AluCab Shadow On. First of all, I'll be showing you what's inside the box so you'll know if you have everything or not, and then we can continue the installation process. So first of all, there's 3 LED bars. You see one shorter one and 2 longer ones. The shorter one will go on the middle leg of the AluCab because here you still have the leg which prevents you from installing a longer light bar. The 2 longer light bars go on the longest legs of the AluCab Shadow On, and there is actually a difference between them. So you see there's a difference in the length and also a difference in the length of the cable, which will be important to mount them in the correct space so they can pivot on the right location of the awning. Then next to the LED bars there's also the controller, which will mount inside the awning, which has the power plug and also the connection points for the LED bars. There's double-sided tape on them so you can stick it easily inside the LED bar. There's a controller which you will use to change the color of the LED bars or to change the intensity, which is mounted to a magnetic bracket which you can glue on inside of your vehicle so that you won't lose it. It's always in a nice secure spot. There's 1 rivet and 1 washer to relocate the sack that's inside the Shadow On. There's a few tie wraps which you will use to secure the cables so that they won't be pinched when you're closing the awning. And then most importantly, there's a Roverland sticker which you can use to show off to all your friends that you have a Roverland product. Okay, that's basically everything that's in the kit, so now we can continue with the installation. Okay, so the first step of installing the LED bar is to make sure that every surface to which you will stick something is clean. For that we'll use some white spirit. I'll just wipe off all the arms to make sure there's no residue on them and that the LED bars will stay secure. So inside the awning where we will mount the control box. So the next step will be gluing on the LED bars on each of the arms. But for that you can also see that the LED arms are labeled. On the first one, go on the one closest to the car. The second one, the short one, will go on the middle, and then the third one with the number 3 will go on the other arm. One thing you need to consider is that they need to be stuck on the exact right spot, and for that you can see in the manual that I provided the distances. So for mounting arm 1, the distance from the center is 5 centimeters, for the second one it's 9, and for the third one it's 6. So 5, 9 and 6. We'll be marking that on the legs first. So what I mean with that is we'll be measuring from the center of the pivoting point of the arm to along the bar to see the right distance. So the first one was 5 centimeters, so we'll be measuring that, the middle, and then we'll put a stripe on that with a pencil. The second one is 9 centimeters, so that's about here. And then the third one is 6 centimeters, so we'll put a pencil mark there as well. Now we can remove the peel from the tape. We can remove it completely. And then we'll stick it right on the marking point. Make sure it's nice and centered along the arm, like that. And then we press it on firmly. step is to remove the sack with the pegs, because here we will mount the controller for the LED bars, and to do that we'll just drill off the pop rivet here a little bit. And then you can just pop out the sack, and we'll take a new rivet and just install it here more in the middle of the box, where there's also a hole for it to be installed. So just like before, we put it on top through the hole and install the washer on top of it. Then perfect. So now that's nice and secure again. Now the next step is to connect the cables to the controller box, and then afterwards we can securely mount the controller box as well. So to connect the cables to the controller box, we'll have to route the cables in the correct way. There's only one way which will make it fit perfectly and also allow you to close the awning correctly without pinching the cables. So the first LED bar, the cable goes behind the pivoting point. So you poke that through. The back. Just like that. Same goes for the second LED bar, so the middle one goes behind the pivoting point and then to the front. And then for the third one, it actually goes in front of the pivoting point. So we'll poke it here, just beside the cable of the second one. And it also goes to the front. Okay, so now we are ready to mount the controller. You can see on the cables and also on the controller itself that the cable only goes in one way. You can see there's a small edge on which you can fit the connector. And the cable of the third arm, so this arm will go closest to the cable, second arm on the second position, and the first arm will go furthest away from the cable. So we check to see. This one is from the third leg. You see how it is connected, like that. And then we mount it onto the controller. And you'll see once it snaps, and then you can twist the knob until it's nice and secure. Then we take the cable of the second arm, put it on, and then we twist the knob. Okay, so now that we have connected all the cables, we can put the controller on top of the awning box, make sure the cable is hanging loosely, and then we measure about 5 centimeters from the edge. Make sure the cables aren't too tight right now, and then we degreased already, so now we can also stick it on nicely so that it's nice and secure. So we remove the tape. And make sure it's nice and straight on there. And press it on firmly for a few seconds, and that's it. So the next step is to secure the cables so that they stay on the right place and they won't get pinched when you close the awning. For that we have some cable ties, and we just secure the cable to the bottom of the rail. So for example, one can go like this around the two cables. Like that. It doesn't need to be very secure, just a little tight so that the cables don't go up in between the awning legs. That's one. And then the second one we will connect just like this. It also gets pulled down. Then we cut it off. The only step left is to plug in the 12 volt and test out the light bar. But since the customer requested a waterproof connector fixed on the outside of the vehicle, we installed the magcode, which is a magnetic contactor, also available on the website. And we'll be changing the cable length and the plug on this one so that we have a nice and clean installation. Okay, so for this car we don't need the entire cable length, so we just need a bit like that. So we cut it off at the correct length. You can insert them carefully in the holes. You secure the screw first, just like that. And also the other screw. It's nice and tight. Then you push back the cable attach, and then you secure that as well, just a little bit. Don't over tighten it because we don't want to damage the cables. And then you push back the seal like that, put on the cover, and then we insert the screw again. Perfect, so that's the cable end done. And now we can plug it in to the car nicely. And now it's a fixed and firm connection. Okay, so that's the installation done. Now I'll show you how to close everything up, back away the cable. So we'll remove the cable from the car, and then you just fold it up nicely. Like that. And then just close the awning like we usually do. First time, always check that the cables are nice and secure, that they're not pinched. And then just like that, we can close the awning again. Put the cable in. Just like that, the awning light packs away with the awning. Next time you want to use it, just open up the awning, plug in the cable, and it's ready to go.